Here we go. And 3, 2, 1.
Boogie.
Welcome to Spotlight with Britt. So, this is my very first episode of my podcast. I am very excited to have you all with me. And if you did not catch the trailer or the second trailer, then I will get you on track here in just a minute. I'm just going to keep rolling with this, y'all, because I am my biggest critic and I'm my worst enemy. And the thing that I'm going to leave in 2023 as we start this new podcast, start the new year, is self-sabotage. So I have seen some posts lately. I'm sure you all have seen many of them yourself about what's your power word for 2024 and what are you going to be leaving behind in 2023. So real quick, just to give you a idea of why I chose the title for the podcast, Spotlight. So I kept coming back to the word spotlight, but there were a whole bunch of podcasts. I just couldn't shake the word spotlight, kept coming back to me. So then the more I thought about it, spotlight. So it's an action, not like an object, like a spotlight. So the word light, I looked up in the Webster Dictionary, and one definition for light is something that makes vision possible. So an actual light, we're all familiar with that. For example, the light of day, the flashlight, something like that. So another definition was something that enlightens or informs. So I felt that was really complimentary to what I was wanting to do here, because I wanted to inform my listeners of different things that are happening in our awesome state where I reside in Arkansas. So Arkansas is the natural state, and there's a lot of great things that you can find just getting out in nature here. So I wanted to share not only the natural things in Arkansas, but the amazing businesses and organizations that are here based out of Arkansas. And also just to talk to y'all about some things that are uplifting, just kind of give you an idea of some stories of people that have overcome certain situations and let you know that there is hope. And we're going to spotlight that's going on in the community. Specifically, you're going to hear a lot about Central Arkansas. The reason for that is because my business partner and myself, Ty King and I of American Business Engine, or ABE for short, you'll hear that a lot because American Business Engine is a mouthful. So we do a lot of networking over at the North Little Rock Chamber, and we actually have for almost 6 years now. And that's how we met. And Ty's expertise is in marketing with websites, social media, and SEO. I have learned a lot about building social media campaigns and building websites and all different things. But along the way, I've met some really great people through the North Little Rock Chamber of Commerce. So again, we are members of the chamber and we do a lot of networking, but also we've just got a lot of different connections to people that are partners of ours, that are clients in our business, or again, simply just friends that we've met along the way that are connected to a lot of different organizations that may have fundraisers or events to get people connected in the community. For example, I actually have one that's coming up with Exodus.life. So I'm actually in the Exodus studio, but I brought in a little something different so it wasn't confusing. So the podcast is being hosted from Exodus.life, and we just had a vision board event for them back in December. And we have an event that's also going to be celebrating another holiday, Valentine's Day, but it's a Galentine's Day party. So we're going to do a paint party over in North Little Rock. So that's my promo for you for an event that's coming up to give you an opportunity to get connected. So you're going to find that. He'll have at least one event on every podcast that is coming up within 2 to 4 weeks, I would say. And that will also be linked on our website at AmericanBusinessEngine.com. So most all of the networking events that we attend will be listed on the events page of our website. Again, that's AmericanBusinessEngine.com. I can't wait to share all this stuff with y'all. This is going to be amazing, and I hope that if you don't already know me from networking, maybe you've found this because someone has shared it on their social media, or I don't know, word of mouth, whatever that may be. I really hope that this is going to be uplifting for you. It's been a long journey to get here. I can tell you that podcasting until, I don't know, like a year and a half, close to 2 years ago, was really new to me. So again, my background is in media sales. So if you caught the first trailer, I worked at the Better Business Bureau my first year out of school. I sold Yellow Page ads for 4 years after that. I was a digital sales manager at the Yellow Pages after that. And then I sold some CRM, customer relationship management software. And then I was at the local CBS affiliate television station, THV 11 KTHV. So that is going to be, remember that part right there, because next episode, you guys are going to see what a lot of my excitement kind of revolves around. Why Spotlight with Britt is really, I feel, just going to be an answer, I hope, to a lot of people's, I don't know, it's going to be an answer to people's questions about what's going on in the community, what is really just, how can I get connected? You know, the guest host that I'm going to have has had an immense history of being affiliated with the Arkansas community for years. And so I'm very excited to have him on January 24th. So again, stay tuned, because what you're going to see is people, whether they're Arkansans or they have lived in Arkansas and maybe they're elsewhere in the United States. I'm not just saying this is going to be people that are from Central Arkansas. So there are a lot of potential guests that you're going to hear. There may be some episodes that are just me speaking, that, like this one, I felt like it was pretty needed that I would actually just kind of sit here and tell y'all a little bit more. I know the trailer may have been a little confusing. Bear with me, because obviously this is new to me still. I had mentioned I've been on 2 other podcasts prior to starting this podcast of my own. So shout out to GT Eichert of Hustle on Purpose. I was on his podcast as a guest. I met him when I was doing some marketing for Arcast. My first podcast that I was on prior to Hustle on Purpose was the Arcast podcast. So a little tidbit on Arcast. If you're not familiar, Ty King started Arcast, and we hosted the first annual podcast festival back in September of 2022. We had one day here in Central Arkansas. Then last year, we actually had a whole week here in Central Arkansas, as well as 2 days in Northwest Arkansas. That was September of 2023. And back in April of 2023, we started the Arkansas Podcast Collaborative. So that's Arkansas Podcast Collaborative. It's a nonprofit that Ty, Karen Stewart, and myself all co-founded. And then you have American Business Engine. So ABE, APC, Arkansas Podcast Collaborative, ABE, American Business Engine. So you'll hear some acronyms, but hopefully we'll kind of keep those separated so it's not too. And my audience, my listeners, again, I hope this podcast is inspirational to you, that you find great things to engage in the community, events, fundraisers, volunteer opportunities, whatever that may be, whatever that looks like for you. And if it's nothing and you simply want to tune in because you get to hear about some really cool people and great things that are happening in our community and you don't necessarily want to get out and get involved, that's totally fine. If you're an introvert and you like sitting at home, I can understand that. I love to do that in my free time because day to day, Monday through Sunday, it's pretty much nonstop. A lot of people tell me, they're like, I don't know how you do all that you do. And I really don't know either sometimes. But when you have a passion for what you do, I feel like it is that much less of a job and it's a career. And I am so grateful for where I am right now. This has been an amazing journey to get here. And again, I have met some just amazing people. Said I was going to get back to this. So, since my second podcast trailer and recording this one, I got engaged. So, if you haven't met Paul Goodman, that is my fiance. And we met at my church, Landmark Missionary Baptist Church in North Little Rock. And I have, I don't know, I've got a lot of stories that I'm going to tell y'all, and they may absolutely circle back to religion at some point. Possibly some of the people that I will be introducing to you, they will end up talking about God, along the way in their journey of how they got to where they are or overcoming whatever obstacles and trials. I can't promise you that it's not going to come up, so I just want to be fully transparent with you all. I hope that doesn't turn you off from listening to the podcast. I do intend on, at the end of every episode, reading some kind of verse or ending with a prayer or, I don't know, just something, because I'm so incredibly grateful for my God and the journey that I have traveled to get to where I am right now at this point in my life. And I feel like I'm blessed to have met each and every single person that I have so far on my journey to being an entrepreneur. And to speak to that, I have been blown away over the last almost 24 hours of posting that I got engaged. I have had over 500 people that have reacted, commented something on my social media posts. Y'all make me feel so special, and I really hope that this is going to be an amazing journey for everybody. And I won't drone on too much about the engagement. Everybody's been asking when that's going to happen. I have no idea. When the wedding is going to happen, not the engagement. Obviously, that happened. Okay, enough about being giddy. So, getting back to the stuff here. So, light, spotlight. For 2023, what do you want to leave behind? What have you left behind? I left negativity and I left self-sabotage in 2023. I'm endeavoring to do a very good job. Endeavor, not try. I'm endeavoring to do a really good job of looking at the positive in things. So a girlfriend of mine, she posted on social media about what is something that you're letting go of and what is something you're embracing. So the reason I want to let go of self-sabotage, and the reason I'm doing that, is because there's a lot of things that I feel like you can miss out on just because something isn't just right. It's not just the way that you want it to be when nothing's ever going to be perfect. Y'all, I talked about starting this podcast since we had RCAST 2023. So like I said, we had a whole day here in Central Arkansas. We had 2 days in Northwest Arkansas. That was over back in the end of September. So here we are, January. Podcast launch January 10th, 2024. And it's just, I have critiqued and overthought and just overplanned and so many things, but self-sabotage really had a hold on me, and I'm to the point now where I just, you never know if you're promised another day. And I think there's a lot of things that we take for granted that we're blessed to have, to possess, to be able to benefit from here in the United States. And it's another thing, spotlight, okay? Like light, something that is something that enlightens or informs. So, what is something that we can shed some light on together as a community? I feel like that's when we don't get together and we don't engage with other people, then we actually are hurting ourselves because we're not allowing us, we're not being blessed, and we're not blessing others with who we are and what we can bring to the table. So again, that's why I really feel like circling back to the networking piece and the community involvement is going to be big. That's why I would love if y'all would come to the event that's going to be on February 9th. February 9th, 6 o'clock. Stay tuned. There will be more of that to come. And being intentional. So leaving negativity, leaving self-sabotage, finding the light, finding the positive, finding the greatness in the moment, in what we're given, and really just moving forward into intentional, prayerful time. Somebody said the other day, you need to take time. You need to take time to do things rather than figure out when you can fit something in because you have a spare 5 minutes or something like that. 2024, I'm going to be intentional with my time. I am not going to overcommit. I tend to do that sometimes, more often than not. I stay very busy. And so I'm just going to take some time to do more spending with family, doing things with community, and still being there for my clients, finding new clients that are a great fit for American Business Engine, finding people that are great guests to bring on this show, finding things that are a highlight or a benefit or something that brings hope to my listeners. So this podcast is all for you guys. I like I said, it may be me. More often than not, there's going to be a guest on the show. And from this point, I want you to know like the length of time. So I'm going to shoot for 30 to 40 minutes. May not always be right on the 40-minute mark. If I have a guest, it could be a little bit harder to keep right on that max of 40 or so minutes. But I'm going to keep the questions pretty straightforward. And, if we get to talking a little bit longer and it's great conversation, then I'm sure you won't mind. But just to let you know where that will be. It'll be a 30 to 40 minute episode. That's going to be every 2 weeks. And really, I guess we can't really say every 2 weeks. It's going to be the second and fourth Wednesday of every month. Okay. So if you have enjoyed this episode, then what I need you to do is go to Spotify and search Spotlight with Britt. It's 2 separate words. Spotlight is not the common spelling spotlight. It's spotlight. So spot space light space with space Britt. Spotlight with Britt. And you can follow the podcast there. Every time that a new episode launches, if you forget to tune in on the second and fourth Wednesday of every month, then you can get a subscription notification. You can get a notification that the podcast has been posted. And by following on Spotify, that will get you connected to each and every new amazing episode, get you updated on what all is going on around Central Arkansas, what's going on in the podcasting community, what is going on with local businesses and nonprofits here in the natural state. And I really just want to share the love because local businesses are the backbone of our economy. And if you are going to do business with somebody, why not support a local business? I heard on the radio earlier somebody said, yeah, now we just stand in the store and see a price on something, and then we want to go in and we want to check it out on our phone and see, if we can find it somewhere cheaper. But let's support local, you guys. That's another big thing that we care about at ABE is supporting local businesses. Hence, a reason that we are members of the North Little Rock Chamber of Commerce. So if you're looking to do business with a local business, we can point you in the right direction. If you need help with your social media, with your website, with your digital marketing, we can help you with that. And if you want to get a podcast started, you need a podcast studio, you want more information about podcasting meetups, that is us as well. You need to tune into the Arkansas Podcast Collaborative social media. You can go to arkansaspodcasters.org and find a variety of Arkansas produced podcasts. And the next time that you guys tune in, we are going to talk to someone that is starting a podcast. Very famous person that I'm sure a lot of y'all know, have met, have heard on TV or the radio. I'm sorry, I'm really excited and I want to say who it is, but I want y'all to tune in. You may already know, and don't spoil it. Don't spoil it if you already know, because I've had to tell a few people I can't keep a secret all the time. But yeah, so tune in the fourth Wednesday of this month, January 24th, to catch, and you'll hear more about the podcast that is starting to ramp up for this individual. Real quick, the last thing I want to close out with, seeing as the launch of the podcast is happening January 10th, shout out to my mom. Happy birthday to my mom. She is 62 today. And last thing, Spotlight, right? Spotlight with Britt. The devotional, when I looked it up this morning, I was blown away because I was recording the very first episode of Spotlight with Britt, and light kept coming up. Light, light, light. So, John chapter 12, verse 36 says, while ye have light, believe in the light, that ye may be the children of light. These things spake Jesus, and departed, and did hide himself from them. Again, that's John chapter 12, verse 36. So there's an inspiration and a prayer that goes with each of these verses for a morning devotional and evening devotional. I mentioned one in the trailer. It's a 365-day devotional that I do, but this is also a devotional that I look at regularly. It's in the Holy Bible app, the King James Version. So again, it has the verse, and then it has an inspiration, reflection, and then there's a prayer. So to go along with that verse, the inspiration or reflection says, in Jesus we find the light of truth and love. Truth and love. I really hope that you find some truth, you get some education from this podcast, you feel the love that is shared between me and you all, my listeners. I really hope this podcast is going to be impactful for you. You see the love that the other people that I'm going to bring on this podcast have for local businesses, for community, for Arkansas, for people that we've met, one another. It's going to be a lot of love shared in this podcast. And okay, so back to it. In Jesus we find the light of truth and love, but the world around us is still lost in the darkness of sin and fear. So we spend time in the light, growing in knowledge, trust, and wisdom, in order to prepare for the times when we are sent forth into the dark world. In such times, we must cling to the truth that has been revealed to us, even when the light is hard to see. Okay, and so then finally, the prayer. Lord, thank you for inviting me into your light. By it, you have shown me your truth and bathed me in the warmth of your love. Help me to never forget your light, which sustains me when the darkness of the world surrounds me. Help me to not give in to doubt and fear, instead trusting in your assurance. In Jesus' name, amen. So I want to assure you that the second and fourth Wednesday of every month, you will have a new episode of Spotlight with Britt. I'm going to be prayerful that you will find some bits of hope and happiness and opportunities to engage with your local community throughout this podcast. I look forward to sharing some amazing people and businesses and organizations with you, hopefully informing you about someone or something that you have not heard of before or met previously. And stay positive, y'all. Letting go of negativity, left that in 2023. No more self-sabotage. It's like Nike says, just do it. Branding. 10 plus years of advertising experience. Just do it. It's like Nike said. Thank y'all for tuning in to the first episode. And I cannot wait to welcome you back for episode number 2. It's going to be so exciting, y'all. It's going to be so exciting. So, thanks. Hope you have a great day. My friend that I'll be interviewing, her name is Katrina. She says, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. So, I'm not going to take that, but I hope you're having a great day. Whatever time it is that you're listening to my podcast, I hope that you've been blessed and that this podcast has blessed you and that you're going to have a great day. Be safe out there. And as I say when I finish my Facebook Lives, catch you next time.